Biostrife, how to play. In the far future, the world you once knew is gone. Civilization collapsed under the weight of its own ambition. A superintelligence once promised utopia, but instead triggered a global war that shattered the planet. Nuclear devastation scarred the continents. Then, when humanity was already on the brink of extinction, an alien asteroid struck Terrania. Entire ecosystems collapsed. Cities turned to wastelands. But the asteroid brought something else with it. New resources, new technologies, and something far more terrifying. Alien diseases. Megacorporations rushed to seize the asteroid's remnants, forming powerful private military coalitions. Humanity fractured into factions. Warlords rose, private armies formed, and the few remaining habitable regions of the world became battlegrounds. Now Terrania stands on the edge of annihilation. The plague spread. Resources grow scarce. Trust is fragile. Only one leader can unite the world. Only one empire can survive. This is Biostrife, a strategic deck-building game of global conquest, disease warfare, and population survival for 2 to 4 players. In this guide, we will walk through everything you need to begin your campaign for domination. We will cover the objective of the game setup, core resources, turn structure, conquering territories, disease mechanics, combat and defense, buildings and bases, trading, and finally, how to win the game. By the end of this guide, you will be ready to lead your faction to victory. Objective. Your goal in Biostrife is simple. Control the fate of Terrania. Players compete to build powerful decks, expand across continents, control populations, and survive the global pandemic threatening humanity. Victory is determined by victory points. These points appear as stars on the bottom right of cards. Players earn victory points from powerful cards, territories, and their surviving population. At the end of the game, the player with the most victory points wins. However, victory can also occur through domination. If only one player remains with population in their starting country, they may be declared the last ruler of Terrania. But survival is not easy. Players must balance expansion, defense, technology, and disease management while competing against rival warlords. Game components. Biostrife includes everything needed for an epic strategic conflict. Inside the box, you will find a large 32 by 21-inch world map board, 250 cards, population tokens for up to 4 players, 12 territory flags, hero warlord cards, continent cards, territory cards, trigger cards, faction decks, mercenary cards, disease cards, sickness cards, bases, weapons, scientists, and the Biostrife rulebook. Each component plays a role in shaping the battlefield. Hero warlords. Every player takes the role of a legendary hero warlord. These characters represent the leaders guiding humanity through the chaos. At the start of the game, players either choose or randomly receive one hero warlord card. Each warlord provides a faction ability and a defense ability. Faction abilities grant unique strategic advantages. Defense abilities allow players to protect themselves from incoming attacks. However, using a hero warlord's defense has a cost. When a warlord defends, the card becomes tapped. A tapped warlord cannot use their faction ability until the end of their next turn. This creates important tactical decisions between defense and power. Population. Population represents the surviving citizens under your control. Population is tracked using colored tokens that match each player's faction. One token represents 10 million people. Players may start with 30, 50, or 100 population depending on the game mode. Population is placed on your starting country and later spread across conquered territories. Population is extremely important. It allows you to maintain control of territories. It contributes to your final victory points, and it represents the survival of your empire. But population is fragile. Warfare, disease, and disasters can wipe it out quickly. Managing your people wisely is essential. Game. Setup. To begin the game, place the map board in the center of the table. Shuffle the territory cards. Place them face down on their corresponding locations across the map. Each territory will show a warfare cost on its back. Costs range from 4 to 6. Ensure that each continent contains a mix of these costs. Next, place the continent bonus cards near each corner of the board. These represent special bonuses earned by controlling entire continents. Then prepare the global market. This is the central area where players acquire new cards. Place the following decks there: the faction decks, the mercenary stack, the trigger deck, the disease deck, and the sickness stack. Next, prepare the disease deck. Dry influenza is placed face up on top. All other diseases are shuffled or arranged beneath it. Each player then selects a starting country on the map. Place your population tokens there. Each player receives their hero warlord card. Finally, build your starting deck. Every player begins with 10 cards, 6 scientists, and 4 soldiers. Scientists generate erudition. Soldiers generate warfare. Shuffle the deck. Then draw 6 cards to form your starting hand. Choose a starting player. The war for Terrania begins. Core resources. Biostrife revolves around 2 main resources: erudition and warfare. Erudition is represented by blue symbols. It represents science, research, and technological advancement. Erudition allows players to acquire scientists, weapons, buildings, diseases, and certain special cards. Warfare is represented by red symbols. It represents military strength and battlefield power. Warfare allows players to acquire soldiers, conquer territories, attack other players, and destroy structures. Both resources are generated by playing cards during your turn. Unused resources disappear at the end of the turn. This means players must carefully plan how they spend their power each round. Turn structure. Each player's turn follows a simple structure. First, resolve disease side effects. If a disease effect targets you, apply its consequences now. Next, play sickness cards or attack abilities. These must be resolved before playing other cards. Then play the rest of your hand. All cards must be played unless instructed otherwise. As you play cards, add up your erudition and warfare. Use these resources to acquire new cards from the global market or conquer territories. You may also attack opponents, trade cards, or move population during your turn. Once all actions are complete, discard your hand. Draw 6 new cards. If your deck is empty, shuffle your discard pile to create a new deck. Your turn ends. The next player begins. Conquering territories. Territories represent control over regions of the world. To conquer a territory, you must spend the required amount of warfare shown on the card. Once acquired, place the territory card next to your hero warlord. Place its matching flag on the map board. Then move population tokens into the territory. Each territory has a maximum population capacity. You cannot exceed this limit. Territories provide powerful abilities, but newly conquered territories begin tapped. This means their abilities cannot be used until your next turn. At the end of your turn, they untap and become active. If a territory ever loses all its population, control is lost. The territory either returns to the board or is captured by an attacking player. Expansion brings power, but overextension can lead to collapse. Continent control. If a player controls 3 adjacent territories on the same continent, they gain the continent bonus card. This card grants a powerful ongoing advantage. The bonus remains active while the player maintains control of those territories. If any territory is lost, the continent bonus is returned to the board. Disease mechanics. Disease is one of the most dangerous forces in Biostrife. Disease cards represent global biological threats. Players may acquire 1 disease per turn. When a disease is taken, 2 things happen. First, the outbreak effect activates between turns. This affects every player. Second, the side effect targets players 1 at a time in future turns. The disease side effect card is passed from player to player. If a player fails to pass it properly, they must resolve the next disease effect twice or skip their turn. Disease attacks cannot normally be defended against. However, diseases also provide biowarfare abilities when played. These allow players to weaponize the plague against their enemies. In Biostrife, even sickness can become a weapon. Combat and attacks. Combat occurs through warfare. Attack cards allow players to reduce enemy populations, destroy structures, or disrupt strategies. Each warfare point removes 1 population token. However, players cannot attack opponents directly until they have conquered at least 1 territory. Defense cards allow players to block incoming attacks. When used, the defense card is discarded. Players may also defend using their hero warlord, but doing so taps the warlord and disables their faction ability temporarily. Choosing when to defend is a critical strategic decision. Bases and buildings provide long-term strategic advantages. When acquired, they are placed into your discard pile. When played from your hand, they remain in play on the board. Bases provide armor protection. Enemies must destroy a base before attacking the population beneath it. Buildings provide useful abilities, but have weaker protection. Destroying structures requires enough warfare to break their shield value in a single strike. Once destroyed, they return to the discard pile. Structures help secure your empire, but they can also become targets. Triggers. Trigger cards are mysterious events. Players may acquire 1 trigger per turn by spending 1 warfare and 1 erudition. Triggers remain hidden when taken. They can produce powerful or unexpected effects when played. Because of their unpredictability, triggers add tension and surprise to every match. Trading players may trade cards during their turn. Trades must follow strict rules. Cards must have equal resource cost, and they must belong to the same category. Warfare cards trade for warfare cards. Erudition cards trade for erudition cards. Territories trade only for territories of equal value. These rules ensure fair and balanced exchanges. Alliances may form, but trust is never guaranteed. Elimination and warlord capture. If a player's starting country is conquered, their hero warlord is captured. The conquering player places the captured warlord next to their own. On the next turn, they may use its abilities as well. The defeated player keeps their remaining cards and counts their victory points at the end of the game. However, if a warlord is destroyed by disease, it is abolished completely, ending the game. Biostrife can end in several ways. The global market is completely purchased. One player conquers every territory. The disease deck is exhausted. A special card combination is played. Only one player remains with population in their starting country. Or all 3 extinction-level events occur in a single round. When the game ends, players calculate victory points. Add the stars from all your cards. Every 10 population equals 1 additional victory point. The player with the highest total becomes the ruler of Terrania. In Biostrife, survival requires strategy, adaptability, and ruthless decision-making. Will you expand your empire across the continents? Will you weaponize disease against your enemies? Or will you unite the world under a new order? The fate of Terrania rests in your hands. Choose your warlord, build your deck, command your armies, and prepare for the ultimate struggle. Welcome to Biostrife.